Welcome back to Open Line tonight. I'm Carrie Sharp, joined by Representative Sexton out of Crossville. Made you Clarksville almost. It's Crossville. And we're talking about the Tennessee opioid epidemic tonight. We're trying to talk about it at least. And lots of folks wanting to chime in. We have Sharday on the line, been holding for a while now. Sharday, thank you for calling in.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing well. Tell us your comment or your question you might have tonight.
Well, my comment is I was recently very sick, and I had to go to the hospital and going through a lot of pain. And it's super easy to be addicted to opiates. Everybody gets them. I'm sure everybody's almost had them. And I feel like you need to, when they give you opiates, when you feel the pain going away, and you feel like you're better, don't continue to take them. Don't continue and then don't continue to hold them, because then you think, oh, I'm going to use them for another day.
Right.
And those are things kids get a hold of, and other things happen. Throw them, flush them down the toilet, get rid of them, because it's easy to be addicted to things. Nobody's exempt, and we all are just human. So,
Sharday, you bring up a great point, and I'm going to cut you off just because we have a lot of people holding, but such a good point. It's so easy to go back in that medicine cabinet, like, oh, I got a headache today, and this stuff really works.
Well, it is. I mean, everybody says that, your cholesterol medicine and blood pressure you take every day because you're like, I need that.
Yeah.
But those medications that you take, you might have got 20, you only needed 10. You're like, hey, well, maybe I'll have that again sometime.
Right.
And so basically, what we're doing is playing roulette with that. As she was saying, is there might be that time when you might have a pain, you take it, and you don't know when you're gonna have that feeling.
Yeah, we all have weakness. We're just human, and yeah. So great point, but don't flush it. We're not supposed to flush drugs like that. Turn them into the police.
You can take. Yeah, most police have a drug bin that you can drop off.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's jump to Benny. Benny, thank you for being with us. What's your comment or question?
I've been in pain for 27 years, and I've had 5 surgeries. She beat me with 2 surgeries. It is getting harder. You guys are doing a job up there, I know, and I know people do them illegally. But
a lot of people.
Back surgery, and I have degenerative disc disease, so I got bone-on-bone rubbing, plus arthritis, diabetes, fibromyalgia from the diabetes, nerve pain, in my feet and hands. And I'm 57. I'm just getting older. I understand, falling apart. But I've tried everything: water therapy, regular therapy. Chiropractor turned me down. Have an aneurysm in my aorta in my stomach, and he said I can't touch it. So that's when I went to the pain clinics. I was taking Lortabs in 2013. In 2014, of course, I went to the hospital. And
Benny, do you feel like when you try to go get a prescription, you're finding it just harder and harder?
Yes, we have to sign a contract, signing away all our rights to privacy, and they can search us anytime they want to, at our homes, in our vehicles, at the doctor's office. We have pill counts where the doctor will call you and say, come on in, we need to count your pills. Or the pharmacy will say, come on in, we got to count your pills. And you sign the contract saying, okay, no problem, But I don't know. We're cutting down. We're starting to cut down. I get, for the last 3 months, it's been 16 shots in my spine. Now, 2 of them are numbers, and then there's the dye, and it's under an X-ray machine as he places needles, like an epidural.
Benny, am I hearing you say you would just like less regulation?
Well, what I'm getting around to is, I talked to a friend I hadn't talked to in 8 years, and he was on higher doses of opioids than I was. That I don't take them anymore. We got to talking about the pain clinics, and he said, I'm taking, what is it, THC oil? The hemp oil. No, not THC, the hemp oil. And that's got him off of his pain meds. So go to the illegal drug, which is marijuana, which it's in the contract. If you drink alcohol, smoke marijuana, they'll kick you out of the system. You're out of there. No questions, you're out.
Yeah.
Because you're smoking marijuana or drinking constantly.
Benny, I think we catch you're just here tonight. I'm gonna cut you off because we do have a lot of people to get to, but you know, it just sounds like that pull and tug of people who need it and people who just want it.
Right. I mean, you know, you could look at the diagnosis codes and probably dive in to have a better idea of degenerative disc disease compared to depression, right? And the amount of time you need. But you know, a lot of times too, what I will say is, go back to the same point, is so physicians are being dictated to on what they need to be able to do. They're no longer being able to practice medicine like they were in the 70s.
You're right.
They're being told what they need to do and how they do it, and this is how you're going to be reimbursed. If you don't want to be reimbursed, then don't do it that way.
Right. And the paperwork piles up like this.
Right.
You know,
we need to get back to the data where we empower the physicians to a higher level to take care of the patient.
Okay.
And maybe they have a little bit more training.
Yeah. Benny, thank you for your call. I'm going to get, let's see, Jeff is on the line and been holding for quite a while. Jeff, thank you for holding. What's your comment or question?
Well, thanks for having this conversation to begin with. First of all, I would like to know how many people take opioids for recreation versus pain. I mean, are there studies regarding this? And did the pharmaceutical companies, you know, pain clinics, insurance companies, create this problem to begin with because they were rather treat the problem with pain medication? And then, you know, we were talking about illegal and legal drugs, meth, crack cocaine, heroin, whatever. You know, they're distributed by drug cartel gangs, you know, making a profit. And then, you know, we're talking legal versus illegal drugs. How did this become a problem? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. And you know, let's start I don't know if we could ever say how many people are taking it prescribed versus unprescribed, because we don't know how many people are out there doing it illegally. They want to stay in the shadows. But how did we get here? How did we get to this problem?
I think we got there as a society because, as he said, we would rather take a pill sometimes. Not saying all cases, there's a lot of calls tonight where they did the other things and it didn't work. But a lot of times we'd rather have the pill than we would to make the hard decisions and do the hard part. And you know, what we can do in the future is to make sure that if something's prescribed, that the physician has the knowledge and the training, because there's very little that they are schooled about addiction, about treatment, about pain management. You know, we moved to where you have to be a pain specialist, hopefully to help people in pain have a better idea of what pain to use. And a lot of times too, you know, you see it in antibiotics sometimes, not all the time, but you have people who give you an antibiotic and it may not work because they rather just give you something to get out the office, or they give you the biggest, baddest antibiotic knowing that at some point it may develop resistance and no longer use, because they know it will work and you won't have to, there won't be another visit. So you wonder sometimes when they're treating pain, are they giving you the biggest, baddest pain medicine because they know it will comatose your pain without being fair? Or are they going to dive in and really try to identify where the pain is and which pain medicine might be the best to treat it instead of giving the big gun?
And we all know, just like in any profession, from journalist to lawmaker to doctor, whatever, there are bad apples and there are great ones. And sometimes you don't know where you're landing until you're there.
That's true. And
that's unfortunate. Unfortunate when it comes to your health and your livelihood and everything else that comes with it.
You know, there's a bond between a patient and the physician. And it's being interrupted by the insurance companies.
Big time, big time. And let's not forget that the pharmaceutical industry, while there are lots of good intentions there, it is an industry, it's a business. And I think that's what Jeff was trying to get at, was these pills are being pushed by a business.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, they're trying to get their product moved, and you know, the interesting thing about all that is almost all medications go through the FDA, and so there are studies that are there. And if you look back at the studies that Purdue did back in the day, and you really dive into the footnotes, when they said it wasn't addictive, they were using an article of someone that wasn't scientific, and so so that was in there. So you really have to look at it. But you know, when you look at marijuana, there is no studies. I know there's a lot of people who say it take away pain, but there's never been an FDA study that says what it does or how to dose it or what dosing, and that creates a problem if you're looking at marijuana.
So many topics to tackle. That makes it tough. All right, we're going to wrap things up when we come back. Stay where you are.